Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Inez taku ingoa. My name is Inez. You're here with Indigenuity. I help people, whānau Māori, navigate their way to home ownership, papakainga, and occupying their own land. My mediums are social media and storytelling. Lovely to be with you here tonight. I'm just here quickly to share an update on our iwi home loan model. That's correct. Some of you have been following for the last couple of years, where a collective of us have been working on, the vision is to have our own home loan or bank or credit union, our own Māori lending model that iwi can use to take the money that they have invested with the Australian banks, take that money, put it into their own banking model or credit union or branch of a credit union, lend it out to their iwi members as home loans, and therefore they're lending out their money. It's giving better opportunities for whānau Māori. It's having a social impact, and then they're getting their money back anyway, just as you would if we were to take our loans out with any other bank. How's that sound for a model? Bloody awesome, isn't it? Yes. So there's a collective. It's a cooperative of us. There's Peter Rice, who is an elite, amazing economist and treasury lawyer. So he starts banks. Basically, he's a lawyer who helps write policy for banks and people who want to create their own lending models like Mitsubishi. He is from Ngāti Whakaue, and he is the real brains behind how to create financial and banking models. Okay, so then there's him, there's Te Arawa Whauma, and they are our he ha te kupu. They're our ipu, you know? So they're basically our kaumātua and leaders who give us a perspective from an iwi lens, and also connect into the potential investment. So the where the money is coming from, essentially. There is me, and I have used my home ownership program as the way to prepare and whakatika our whānau Māori, our clients, to get ready, bank ready, and get ready to either buy their first home or build on their papakainga, or occupy their land. The last two I just mentioned is aspirational. That's where we're moving to. In order to do that, your lender has to say, yes, we don't mind money being lent out for whenua Māori, which you can't take ownership of as such. And at the moment, there aren't any banks or lenders who want to do that, except for, in theory, the Kāinga Whenua Home Loans through Kiwibank, and the odd mainstream bank will allow you as well, but not without exceptional criteria, like 50% deposit, and there only needs to be only 2, maybe 3 owners, that kind of thing. So the aspiration is that one day we have enough iwi investors into their own branch of the credit union, aspirationally a bank, and as long as they agree, then home loans can be given out for whenua Māori. So that's where we're heading to, this collective. Myself, a valuer and home ownership coach and specialist in this field. Peter Rice, a treasury lawyer and economist, and Te Arawa Whauma. So very lucky. Where I'm coming to it, we have a banking partner who it's been about 2, maybe 3 or 4 years now. 3 or 4 years. Yeah, why do I keep saying 2? I think because 2 years disappears just like that. Probably about 3 or 4 years now. Working on the model, having lots of conversations, going through COVIDs and different laws and finance and things like that, different interest rates. So over those 4 years, it's changed drastically, right? And so where we are at today is we had another kōrero. Today we had the new CEO. We had some key lending staff from Unity and branch managers. and just really clarifying what are the next steps for our for the program. One step that is very, very clear is that you cannot go and access these loans. You can access the loans however you want by yourself, but to get access to this this warm and nurturing environment within this credit union commitment, you have to come through our collective. Outside of it, we take no responsibility for what you go through, your experience or getting declined and things like that, okay? You didn't come through the program, then that's so great. I'm so happy for you that you have going ahead yourself, but there is no commitment from any of the lenders or Unity outside of my program to treat you any way differently. I don't have any other way to say it. So I took a little photo just to mark the day. The photo really is quite meaningless. It's just of me on my Zoom screen and everybody was there in person. But I think it's always good, what I've learned over the last, since 2016, where my business was established. I think it's always good to mark occasions because they always come back in my stories or in my memories on my social media pages, So there's me down in the corner. Yes, there I am. At the meeting, we've got all the whole people in the boardroom around there, including one of our Rotorua Te Arawa coaches who is going through and completing the training to become one of the coaches for home ownership navigation under the Indigenuity program. Kapoi. So there we are, whānau. Where I'm about to submit the first of, this is actually pretty big. This one's a big deal. How do I stop that? I want to stop this sharing. I'm about to submit the first 3 clients and their home loan proposals. Okay, so that means present it, have a one-on-one conversation, support the clients, support you, the homeowners, the borrowers, with the team we're all nurturing and making home ownership for whānau Māori easier, warmer, more accessible. And we're going to subdue our first 3 in the next week or 2. So for those of you who are watching, who are on our program, okay, remember we had a commitment. We're on the 90-day home ownership challenge. I'm going to write it in the chat. For those of you who are interested, it goes like this. It goes inescoach.com. So I've just written it in the chat, in the comments. Pop it up on the screen where you can go and have a look at the options. All right. And so for those of you who are already actively on the 90-day challenge or the Whenua Māori program or home ownership program, credit rehab, any of those things, you will be seeing in the portal updates. I've just got an update on the new process that helps make you feel even better about how to apply for a home loan. And that is that all home loan applications will come through me. So you will no longer have to do my program and then go, okay, go down to Unity or wherever. I will go, yep, cool, you're ready. And then I will take your application and I will connect to the branch on your behalf and with you. But creating that first warm handshake is what we call it. Hey, it's like saying, this is so-and-so and this is so-and-so. He mihi whakatau. Hey. And then any road bumps you have a professional alongside you. If it isn't me, it'll be your coach. Okay. From here on, remember, those of you who got in by the 1st of September are with me as your coach. And from here on, we have my coaches and they'll be supporting you with tautoko as you go through to your lender. What else? Yes, you are not limited to going to our lending partner, Kyle. If I feel it's more appropriate for you to go to another lender, same thing there. You'll go to another lender. You'll go to where is appropriate for you. I I suppose, though, that ultimately, the more of us who want to show up for our own iwi-led lending model, it allows for expansion. It allows for attracting our investors. So the money comes from the Reserve Bank through to the credit union, but whenever we have an investor who pops in some money as well, let's say your iwi or your hapu or whoever wants to put in a bit of money, what it does is that money doesn't go to the home loan. No, it just means that your money receives the interest from the home loan that's given. You get your interest. It's an investment. So the iwi makes money, and all the while, our whānau Māori are also borrowing. Some of their money they're borrowing comes from your investment. So it's spinning around, creating a beautiful social impact of whenua back, right? Through a lending model. Because the vision is you won't be borrowing Australian money, or you're investing your money with Australian banks and then they lend it back to us. One day, when all of the money in there is managed properly, like a proper bank or a proper credit union, but it mostly comes from our iwi investments, it means that they can call the shots and say, okay, we don't mind this money being lent out for home loans for whenua Māori, Māori land title. Do you see the vision? That's where we're building to. Hence, if you are on my program and you are wanting to look into borrowing through the credit union opportunity that myself and the collective have, you're welcome to do so, and you'll be contributing to the fabric of whenua Māori and home ownership for whānau Māori and Aotearoa. Tēnā koutou. It is a bit confusing. I will say that to you, Ehua, whānau apapa. And I'll tell you why it's confusing. You're not alone. You're so right. It is confusing because banking and finance law is confusing. So I do try not to talk about it too much on here because it starts to sound like, what the hell? So what my recommendation is to people is don't take it on board. Don't kind of listen to the vision of what the opportunity is for us, but ignore the details. I always say, just ignore the details. For background, everybody, I have been in the property valuer. So I have a license. I had to practice, and I have to be a member of the Institute of New Zealand, Property Institute of New Zealand. I have to be a member of the Valuation Institute of New Zealand, and then I have to register with the board. And I did that through Melbourne, Tasmania, and New Zealand. So I've done a lot of professional, been in this profession a while. And my colleague, he has been a international economist and lawyer for setting up banks and lenders. For example, he set up the Mitsubishi Bank. So Mitsubishi, the car company, don't go to banks to borrow their money. They borrow it from their own bank, from themselves. He does that stuff. So, and then the rest of the people in the collective have their own lenders, home loan or lending, and business as well. So it's definitely complex and highly technical. And I suppose what I've self-selected my role to be, is to keep communicating to you all, to us, so that we're involved. Because it can get a bit, people can get fancy, lawyers, accountants, valuers, bankers, and we can be in our own world and get it all sorted. Hi, son. And get it all sorted and make these flash models and then forget about the people. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to not forget about you and say at the end of the day, what all the flash stuff is nobody's business. It's what is it going to do for whānau Māori? And if we keep our eye on that prize, that it must be more home loans, better home loans for you and ultimately home loans that allow us to build homes on our properties, then that is the main thing. So I've got a question here, profit-wise, what is the main difference between investing directly with credit union? Oh, profit-wise, to be honest, Tehua, that is not really in our scope. It does matter. So Peter, who's the economist and lawyer, he worries about that. But it has to be even. It has to be match it. It's like for iwi to invest, we believe that they should be getting at least what they're getting from other banks. And the model that we're negotiating is that they at the very least get the same return as what you get from putting your money in a bank, a mainstream bank, and potentially higher. But to get at least the same amount is pretty good, I reckon. And the program. So my program, you can check it out. I've just put it here. If you have a look here, that's direct to, I've got other websites. I've got heaps of info, but this is just directly to the information for people who are ready to join. Knowing that a lot of people already know who I am over the last few years. And so if you do need any information, you just message or go and have a look on the videos, and you'll see that I've been around for a little while. Established in 2016, coaching whānau Māori to home ownership and whenua Māori to live on their own papakainga. Okay, just checking if we've got any other questions, and I don't. Yeah, and one other thing is once we figure it out, we'd love other iwi to have their own branch as well. And all the IP that comes with that we've worked out over the last 4 years or so is obviously going to be an important part, unless you want to restart every time. Go for it. So, kia ora. Just keeping you in touch, letting you know. I was going to say if you have any questions, but no, it's fine. The main thing is people on the Oh, here is one. People might say, why are they paying me or Indigenuity to have access to this opportunity? It's because I'm a service. So I'm a service like you pay a lawyer $2,000 to help you get a home. You pay an accountant to get your accounts done, to prove your income. You pay your broker, whether you like it or not, your broker gets paid for every home loan. And you pay me because I do this full time for whānau Māori, and I don't have a job. But for that money, it never covers the costs of the work that we do. We have these meetings for years on end, giving all the hours we do to create the model. So don't you worry about a thing. Those prices are affordable. And anyway, for anybody who can't afford it, are you buying a house? I don't think you are. Yep, that's it. Kia ora everybody, just keeping you in touch and keeping you informed with our whenua Māori and home ownership banking model. Mauri ora, kia kaha.